Hello, my name is Rita Rogers and welcome to my bar. Today I'm going to do an instructional video for the PIDP 3240 class. So I'm going to be talking about the bar and I'm going to be showing you how to make a couple of classic cocktails. Now you know that bartending and the classic cocktail has had a bit of a rebirth over the last few years, and it's become so popular and everybody's interested in some of the classic cocktails that are out there. So I thought I'd show you a couple of my favorites. So you need to have some of the tools and ingredients on hand, obviously, to be able to make some of these cocktails. And I'm going to show you some of these things that you should have on hand. Ice is one of these things, and I just have it here in an ice bucket. A towel is always a good thing to have. I'm sitting at a table, but normally you'd probably be at a counter in your kitchen, or if you do have a bar, then that's fantastic. A towel to pick up any sort of spills and you don't wreck your tablecloth or your table that you're working on. A jigger, 1.5 ounce or 1 ounce as well, is always good to have on hand. A small cutting board for cutting fruits, which are often used in cocktails, lemons, obviously limes, oranges, or sometimes they're being used for garnish. So one of my favorite cocktails is the negroni. Negroni originates in Italy. I'm going to use this glass, my rock glass, and I'm going to get some ice. And you can determine how much ice you like in your drink. I like to fill it about this much, about half. Next thing I'm going to do is do equal measures of each of those drinks or each of these liquors into my drink. So I'm going to start with the gin, and I'm going to do 1.5. I'm going to be generous here, and my husband's going to enjoy this later. So I'm going to do 1.5 of each liquor. So that's 1.5 gin. I'm going to add 1.5 of the sweet vermouth. It's starting to smell really good. And now I'm going to add the Campari that's going to give it that bright, brilliant color. There we go. And this is considered an aperitif. And what an aperitif is something that you actually have before eating. So it's intended to open up your palate and prepare you for the meal and the food that you're about to enjoy. So it's enjoyed in the afternoon prior to having your main meal of the day. So to finish off the Negroni, I'm going to add some orange peel. And what this does is, well, add some lovely orange flavor to the drink. But when you squeeze the peel into your drink, just like this, it doesn't have to be fancy or anything like that, but when you kind of twist it over your drink like that, it releases all the citrus oils, and that goes into the drink, and it makes it look pretty and it makes it taste even better. So cheers, or as they say in Italy, salute. Okay, so the next drink we're going to make is the Manhattan. So to make a Manhattan, you're going to need a few ingredients. The first ingredient you're going to need is some whiskey. I have some Alberta premium whiskey here. You can use bourbon. In fact, when it was first introduced, it was made with bourbon. Bourbon is corn-based, so it tends to be a little bit sweeter. But now a lot of times it's made with whiskey, which is grain-based. So we're going to use whiskey tonight. We're also going to use some sweet vermouth, which is a fortified wine. And we're going to use bitters. Bitters, there's a variety of different bitters on the marketplace. This is probably the most popular one, and you might have seen it. It's called Angostura bitters. And bitters are a concoction of different botanicals and herbs and they're quite strong in scent, and they tend to add some bitterness and some sourness and lots of flavor to a drink. You can find them in most supermarkets. This one especially is one of the most popular ones. But I have a couple, and this is the one I'm going to use today, but I'm going to show you a couple of other ones that are out there. This one is called an amber aromatique bitters. There's just different varieties of them. This one is a blood orange bitter, so that's quite nice, but I'm going to use the Angostura bitters today. And for garnish, for the Manhattan, the maraschino cherries are used. The Manhattan is a shaken drink, so for that you're going to need a cocktail shaker, and you're going to need your jigger to measure out the different ingredients, and you're going to need some ice. So I'm going to start with making the Manhattan. I'll get my glass first in place. I'll get my cocktail shaker, and one of the first things I'm going to do is get enough ice in there to make my drink. All right, that looks like a good amount. Now I'm going to use 2 ounces of whiskey. Oh, that's a full bottle. There's my 2 ounces. So it's 2 to 1. It's super easy, this recipe. So 2 to 1. 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. Whoa. It's a good thing I have my towel here, because then I would have wrecked my tablecloth if I didn't. And next I'm going to add in the bitters. So with bitters, it's really personal preference. My husband likes about 4 shakes of bitters in his Manhattan, so that's what we're going to do. Some people like a little bit more, some people like a little bit less. So it's all a matter of personal taste. Now I'm going to put the lid on the cocktail shaker, and I'm going to give it a really good shake, because what you want to do is make sure that your drink gets nice and cold, and that's what you're doing when you're using a shaker. All right, so here we go. And when your arm is nice and tired, you're done. You can now pour your drink in your glass. So here we go. This is our Manhattan. Oh, it's a nice color. Lovely. And we're going to top it off with a maraschino cherry, as I mentioned earlier, and that's your garnish. You just drop it right into the drink and it sinks right to the bottom. And there you have your classic Manhattan. Enjoy.